The eagerly anticipated five-match test series between South Africa and England gets underway at the Wanderers Stadium in Johannesburg, South Africa's capital city. First to arrive early this morning was Hansie Cronje's South African team, and no doubt who was the talk of the town. It was Allan Donald, of course, the great fast bowler who was past fit yesterday and is ready to resume his titanic battle with Michael Atherton. When England arrived minutes later, there were new names to pick out, men who had had such a good tour so far. And there was the old hand, Atherton himself, briefly doubtless basking in the memory of that glorious match-saving innings here 4 years ago. Yes, Test cricket is back on Channel 4, and it's good to be with you again. We're going to be bringing you highlights of the whole of this five-match series, and indeed the 10 one-day internationals that follow when Zimbabwe make up the triangular tournament that gets going in the new year. Now then, here at Johannesburg, it was a cloudy sort of morning, humid, and the toss was going to be very important. It was won by Hansie Cronje, and it was no great surprise when he chose to field first. These are the teams announced by the captains. Let's have a look at the South Africans first. They've got Paul Adams in, the spinner there. That's a surprise. Everybody thought the quick bowler Ter Brugge might be in the side, but they've gone for balance, and Adams, that unorthodox wrist spinner, will play, and so will Gary Kirsten and Herschel Gibbs. They are fit again and will take their place at the top of the order. The England team, well, that does make for an interesting read. Atherton and Butcher there at the top of the order. There are three new caps. Gavin Hamilton, the Yorkshire all-rounder, is there down the bottom of the list, and above him two batsmen who have played very well on this tour. Chris Adams, the Sussex captain, and Michael Vaughan of Yorkshire. Andrew Flintoff, who's only had 2 test matches so far in his life, both of those incidentally against the South Africans. He is in the side as well, so plenty of counter-attackers there in the England ranks. A great anticipation, as I said earlier, here this morning in Johannesburg. We're going to pick up play with Mark Butcher facing the first ball of the series.
Bouncer, loosener, we're on our way. Michael Atherton, 91 test matches, his highest innings 168. 168 innings. His best, of course, that mammoth innings of 185 not out against South Africa right here. Bowled him out! Little bit of an inside edge, I think, but certainly in swing. Donald strikes in the first over.
Combination of speed and big late in swing from Allan Donald gets the breakthrough. Atherton's feet not quite moving as he would like early on in his innings, but that's a lot easier said than done, mostly when you're facing someone of Allan Donald's pace. What a way to end the first over. And you can see there the late in swing. Mike Atherton caught on the crease to a certain degree, and Allan Donald delighted. 1 for 1, and it's only the first over of the test.
Out! That's a great delivery. It's taken off from nowhere. The England captain is out for naught, so that's Atherton and Hussain. What a strike from these two South African fast bowlers.
Well, I suppose he's got the men to exploit any kind of decision he makes, but really, Hansie Cronje, well done on winning this toss. And that's shortish, but not that short, and it's climbed and it's got big on him. He just can't get out the way. He's committed to playing the shot. He can't drop the hands in time, and all he can do is fend it off towards the gully.
Hussain then out for naught. England 2 for 2. That's well bowled, and Butcher goes. Well, what can you say? We've said enough about this toss, but Donald has got it all right this morning. It's one thing winning a toss, you've still got to bowl it in the right place.
Well, Cronje looking a bit pensive there, but I think he's just trying to control his glee at having won that toss. But look at that again, movement through the air and then accentuated off the pitch. And has that come off the edge or the back leg?
Mark Butcher out for 1, England 2 for 3. Same field for Stewart as was set for Atherton. Oh, and he's bowling My mistake, but the ultimate result is the same. Stewart gone, first ball for naught.
Well, just look at the line that this ball starts on. It must be at least a foot to even a foot and a half outside that off stump. And it's swinging back viciously. Starts around about a foot outside that off stump, swinging a lot, hits him on the front foot. And the only doubt that could be in the umpire's mind was whether that was going to swing down the leg side or not. Not in the opinion of Dave Orchard. And Alex Stewart is out for one of his rare ducks in his career. 4 wickets, 2 runs.
Cuts away 4. I think that's the way to bat here.
No doubt about it.
It's a question of scoring, isn't it? You could say, well, he could have left that alone, but you're not going to get a run otherwise. The ball is doing so much at the moment. A little bit of width offered by Donald. And Adams climbed in. In the air, but it flies down for 4.
Well, now, what does Cronje do? He knows that Alan Donald is swinging the ball into the right-hander, and for that reason has had the man behind square on the leg side, and only 2 slips. But his bowler is on top of his game today.
In the air again, and it's over into that vacant spot. That's just where Hansie Cronje has moved the man from, back there at third man, and no real attempt to keep that one down by Michael Vaughan, knowing that there isn't a man in the catching position deep.
Oh, that went right through.
Now that's the length that I would like to see Shaun Pollock bowling a little more often if he can. Not that easy to do because it's quite a lot further up than he normally would bowl, but this was unplayable. Nice high action, as you see, close to the stumps, and then he's drawn forward, and look at that. Absolutely unplayable. Superb delivery.
Well, this is smashed away for 4 more. I think it'll go there. It will indeed. This is the way Adams plays. Too short and wide from Alan Donald.
Yes, the pitch isn't all that quick, so if you drop it short, and that's what I've been saying, is it's very important for the bowler to keep the ball on a good line and length. See how short that was. Now he got onto the front foot and slashed it away there, knowing that there's no real chance of a catch.
Oh, that's a nasty blow. That will have hurt. It ends what was something of an indifferent over from Alan Donald. 5 runs from it with the wide, 26 for 4. This has struck through the covers and is going to be 4 runs. And that is the first, shall we say, copybook shot that we've seen go for runs today.
Yes, but that's the chance that Shaun Pollock has to take. He's got to keep it right up there to encourage the batsman. He won't be disappointed that the batsman has now driven this. You see, he didn't get far forward. The ball was in the air.
This is played nicely away through mid-wicket. The captain's after it, and he will haul it in, but they'll be able to get a comfortable 3. The outfield is not that fast because we had quite a bit of rain last night.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. I don't know whether we're going to call that a bit of bad luck or a bit of bad judgment from Adams. I think the ball got bigger on him than he thought it was going to. That is a very disappointing blow because England have lost a wicket to a bad ball.
Yes, Donald he must consider himself a little bit fortunate here. Extra bounce though, perhaps hitting the seam and getting that extra bounce But Adams unlucky because he looked like he was playing it, as you say, got big on him, in a way tried to retract, maybe drop his hands a fraction, but just taking the top of the handle.
It's absolutely extraordinary how often a wicket falls after a break. We've just had the drinks break. There's the end of Adams. That is a beautiful stroke. Watch the ball clipped away off the toes for 10 years and you won't see it done easier than that. And it's safe. It's a pretty unconvincing pull stroke from Flintoff. It was almost as if he'd set himself, thinking, well, we might get a loose ball first up here from Cronje.
Yes, Cronje often gets a few wickets because the opposition batsmen underestimate him to a certain degree. He hits the seam, he bowls from very high, gets a little bit more bounce than you might expect, and often going for the pull too early on without really getting used to his pace can get you into trouble. High up on the bat there as he tries to attempt the pull shot.
Well, he's given it the kitchen sink and he'll get 4 for it. Again, it wasn't convincing, but the key to that stroke was he kept going with it. I think he got halfway through it and thought, oh, boy, it's a bit too wide. Oh, well, I'll let the hands go. And once you've done that, you've got half a chance.
Yes, one of the most dangerous deliveries in cricket, the wide swinging half volley. You think you're there, your eyes light up, it's full, it's wide, it should go to the boundary, and then it just swings on you.
Here's Lance Klusener into the attack for the first time today. That bounding run of his. And he's on the mark straight away, and so is Andrew Flintoff with what we can safely say is as classical a stroke as the one that he whipped through mid-wicket a couple of overs ago. Beautiful stroke. Oh! Russell Gibbs, well, the hardest critic may say that he dived over it. I would say that the stroke thoroughly deserved a race to the boundary.
Yes, the cynics in the team will be all thinking Sydney Harbour Bridge. But he made a lot of ground to his right, but a great shot there from Flintoff. A little bit over pitch from Klusener, not much swing at this stage, but certainly full face of the bat.
Well, he's going to get runs, 4 of them down to third man. Now that was a genuine outside edge, and it's taken him 40 minutes from one scoring stroke to the next. Whack, there he goes, it's in the air, and it's going to go down to deep backward point third man for 4 runs. And he's going to get another 4 here far more elegantly. Gibbs is giving chase, and he just beat him to that extra cover boundary, but nicely struck. It's only his second scoring stroke in 39 deliveries, but played beautifully.
Was Cronje just over pitching a little bit? That was very full of a length, but good balance, body weight right through the ball, good follow through, excellent.
That's beautifully struck, over pitched and ill-directed by Klusener, and Vaughan not missing out.
88 for 5 at lunch, just a single between Butcher, Atherton, Hussain and Stewart. It really was dramatic stuff. 16 for Chris Adams, who we all thought played pretty well. He got on his counter-attacking bicycle and did it with some flair. And then a very good partnership, unbeaten 54 between Andrew Flintoff and Michael Vaughan. Vaughan is unbeaten with 33, Flintoff with 35. The South African bowlers, 8 overs, 4 for 28 for Donald. The best of them, though, for me, Sean Pollock, 8 overs, 1 for 9, in an exemplary example of control on a pitch and in conditions offering him plenty of help. Cronje and Klusener rather more expensive. Right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll see how things went in the second session of play. Hello again, 88 for 5, England at lunch. A quite extraordinary morning here at the Wanderers. Now, play should have got underway straight away. The drizzle was only light, but the umpires kept the covers on for quite a long time, and in the end, a full hour of play was lost. We're going to pick it up now with Shaun Pollock bowling to Michael Vaughan, 2 overs into the second session of play here at the Wanderers.
Oh, inside edge, is it? Yes, it is. Flintoff. It's not, it's Vaughan. He's actually gone anyway. I don't think he waited for umpire Venkat. Fantastic delivery from Pollock, and a very competent catch indeed from Boucher.
Well, we were just talking about getting the ball in the right position, and we've seen here that Vaughan hasn't been moving his feet forward to cut off the movement of the ball, and that one certainly got the inside edge. You heard the nick as it went through. Shaun Pollock had no doubt. Mark Boucher took the catch most competently, and to his credit, the batsman walked.
A good innings from Vaughan. He wouldn't have needed that break. He held everything together this morning when all fell around him.
And now we have the man from Scotland, Gavin Hamilton, joining the fray. And as we might have expected from a crowd who is small but exuberant, there is the Flower of Scotland being sung for him.
Out. Caught third slip by Pollock. Hamilton is out for naught on debut. Donald makes it 5 for the innings.
Well, absolutely superb bowling from Alan Donald here. This one had to be played, bounced, it seemed, and it got the outside edge. Good catch too from Shaun Pollock. So England lose their 7 wickets, 7th wicket for 91.
Another 0 in the England lineup. Flintoff's gone. Pollock strikes. England just sink lower.
Well, you could hear the cry of anguish from Andrew Flintoff as he fiddled outside the off stump for that one. That really was a soft dismissal, and England lose their 8th wicket now for 91. Close again to the stumps. This one short and wide, and look at their feet nowhere, just pushing out. Really not the shot of a good batsman, and Mark Boucher has his easiest catch of the innings.
Well, as he looked at that again, it looked like a totally different player to the one that we'd seen before lunch. A good innings nonetheless from Andrew Flintoff. 38, caught Boucher bowled Pollock. England 91 for 8. In the air and backward a square. Leg gully was the place somebody needed to be, but you can't have them everywhere. Very, very good bouncer, and the end of the over. 32 overs gone, 92 for 8. It's a good shot from Caddick. Planted a big heavy bat on that. Pollock just over pitching, and 4 valuable runs.
You can see what I've been saying is that he does get the bat straight, and using his height he hits it well through the line. So he can be very useful, particularly when the ball is old and is not moving around much, and he's certainly a fighter.
Driven down the ground by Goff. That'll go for 4. Very fine shot indeed.
We've just been talking about the outfield and how I believe that we shouldn't have had a mid-on. And Alan Donald moved this particular over, his mid-off, his cover fielder to mid-on, so there's this big gap on the offside. You can see how he's smiling ruefully there because he knows that he's just moved the man across and left that big gap. And Darren Goff took advantage of it. So the England 100 comes up.
Oh, and again.
Well,
and an inside edge, he's got him. I thought it was exactly what had happened earlier in the over, but no, Caddick got a little inside edge. He went immediately, didn't have to wait for umpire Orchard, and England have lost their 9th wicket. Donald's got his 6th.
This really was a superb bit of bowling, and it was capped by an equally good bit of wicket keeping. Now look how far Mark Boucher has to go to his left. He does it very quickly, takes it with two hands, rolls over very expertly, and just a nonchalant toss of the ball as a result. Andrew Caddick goes for 4, and England now 103 for 9.
In he goes, Donald to Goff. And Goff has a swing at 1, and I think he's got it pretty well in the meat of the bat, and it will go for 4. As he played it, it looked as though he might not have enough on it to get to the boundary, but it has done so, and 4 valuable runs to Goff. Oh, and that's going to go for... No, it won't go for 4. There's a man down at fine leg. Gary Kirsten will get round. It was just out of reach of Mark Boucher. Leg byes anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. We were just talking about maybe that mid-on going into the leg gully area, and he might have been in business there. In fact, that came off the chest in the end.
Mark Boucher, 5 catches, took 6 in innings, twice against Pakistan and against Sri Lanka, both in the 97-98 season.
Well, that's as agricultural a shot as you can ever hope to see from a man who can play a good deal better than that, but he's decided that I think that Mullally won't last too long, so he's going to have an almighty go at this. Oh, it's going to be 6, and it's a mighty one too. Well, he'll talk about that for a long time. Well, Alan Mullally. Oh, and he even waves the bat to the dressing room.
It's extraordinary how it got there. At first we thought it was a glove and it might loop up to the wicketkeeper. Then we thought it might loop over the wicketkeeper. Then we thought, is it a catch for long leg? It is actually the bat with a very open face, and it has flown rows back into the bleachers.
Is he out? They go up for it, but I don't think umpire Orchard's going to give it. I think that might have come off the shoulder or the chest or something. But you can be sure after that ball sailing for 6 that Alan Donald's retort was going to be violent.
6 inches in it. That is quick, very quick.
That will be a big appeal, and up will go the finger. Yes, and the innings has ended at 122. Umpire Venkat sends him on his way, and the South African opening batsman Gary Kirsten and Herschel Gibbs trot ahead of the team. They want to get up the stairs and into the dressing room to get those pads on.
Well, Venkat will umpire a lot more in his time. He won't find many easier. You could make all sorts of arguments about the height of that ball and all sorts of things, but if you're an umpire down there, I can tell you that's out. 122 all out England. Vaughan got a really good one to be dismissed for 33. 38 to Flintoff. He played the one indeterminate stroke, but it was a very fine performance from him. He went ahead and played his strokes, and some fun at the end there from both Alan Mullally and Darren Goff. The South African bowling, all about 2 men. Alan Donald, 15 overs, 6 for 53, and everybody was wondering this morning whether he was fully fit to play. He did really well. And the best of them, in my view, Sean Pollock, 14.4 overs, 4 for 16, and a very fine display of swing and seam bowling. OK, we're going to get straight into South Africa's reply. We'll pick it up with Herschel Gibbs and Gary Kirsten at the crease.
Kirsten off the mark. South Africa on their way towards the 122 they have to get for a lead. It's kept the fielder interested, but just reaches the boundary.
Again, some nice in-swing from Goff, and what Kirsten does well here is he doesn't commit too early to get onto that front foot. So he's got enough time to adjust to the swing, get that front leg out the way, and play it through the vacant mid-wicket area.
It's a good shot from Kirsten. Whether it'll get all the way is debatable. Mullally in pursuit. He'll just haul it in, but there just might be 4. Anyway, there are. All run 4. That's sore. That's sore, but where? Is it the hand again?
In that area just between maybe the ribs and the hip. Extra bounce again from Keddick. Off a length, right up into those ribs.
There'll be the appeal for LBW here, but umpire Orchard doesn't want to know.
Well, Goff just gives a sly little look at the umpire, and that's a good shout. But on this wicket, anything on the front foot and where it's hit the batsman above the knee roll, there's always a good chance it's going to go over the top. This will show us, or give us a better idea.
Yes, we've seen a lot of deliveries go over the stumps as it is today. Well, there's one of the shots that I was talking about, and he's got it through, and it will go to the boundary for 4. So, on cue almost, he does throw the bat at the ball.
Yes, and I somehow think that perhaps a little bit disturbed by the previous delivery and the shout, the pressure that it brings. A little bit of width, and Herschel Gibbs needs no invitation.
That just flicked a pad. Up went the arms behind the stumps, and Caddick was up for the appeal. I think more for LBW than for the noise it made, the snick noise.
Yes, these last 3 deliveries have really been testing. He's got the line absolutely right, just slightly straighter than he did in the previous overs.
Oh, he gets one pitched up for a change. Caddick hasn't offered many of those, and he didn't really play it with much flourish. It was more defensive forward push, but because there's nobody in that area at all behind the bowler, he was able to get 3 runs. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Shot of the innings, through the covers, 4 runs. And it ends Caddick's 7th over. South Africa now 37 for no wicket. There we see that lovely shot again from Gibbs.
Oh, I thought that had got through for the... Heard a clatter. I thought maybe it had squeezed through between bat and pad.
Yeah, a couple of funny sounds. I think it hit the visor. Let's have a look again at that. Bat up there onto the back of the visor and then down the arm. My goodness. I think he's had lessons from David Copperfield.
Went up. This is amazing. It hit his arm, went up the back, hit the back of the helmet, came back down his leg, and he was actually very fortunate it didn't roll onto the stumps. It's the pad. Is out. Umpire Orchard has given Gary Kirsten out LBW to Alan Mullally, and England get the first South African wicket with a score on 37. Kirsten LBW to Mullally for 13.
Well, Dave Orchard took a long time to decide here. Gary Kirsten moving across as he usually does, the ball angling into him, beating the inside edge of the bat and hitting the pad. Big appeal, and then the delay, and then David Orchard nods and says yes.
So Kirsten out for 13, 37 for 1. Jacques Kallis's burgeoning test career, averaging over 40 now, and that's evidence of a player of real class. Oh, a little brush on that. Now, was it pad or bat? 4 byes, so it didn't touch a thing. Just took off as it hit the crease line, perhaps. And at that pace, it doesn't touch anything. It just flies away, and Alex Stewart had no price.
It really did take off, and I don't blame Gerald for thinking there was a brush on it, because it went so fast that one thought it had to be a bat, but it just hit the seam in the right place. And Alex Stewart found wanting again. That's when one feels really sorry for the wicketkeeper.
Well, that'll go away to backward point. No, it won't go all the way. couple to Herschel Gibbs. Takes him to 20.
Very nicely angling the ball away past Gavin Hamilton there at point. Just the opening of the face to get into the gap there.
Oh, now that is vicious, and it's again, I think, referring to what Lee Irvin was talking about earlier, those bruises that were inflicted on the pitch by the South African fast bowlers are creating already some indifferent bounce. We've seen one squat to Gibbs, and now we've seen one take off into the chest, and Kallis did really well to keep that out, and he'll enjoy the drinks break now. But let's just have a look at this last one. Just took off spitefully, and Kallis did really well. He was behind it, as he always is.
That's beautifully bowled and acknowledged by the batsman.
But look where it pitches. See, you bring him forward, and you can see clearly from that particular picture that his foot isn't properly planted. So he's late coming forward.
Well, 4. No arguing.
That's super batting. Shot selection is the key. The shot may look risky because it's gone in the air, but the fact is, on a pitch which is bowler friendly, if you're given width and it's in the right arc, there's no harm in throwing the kitchen sink at it, as long as you do throw the whole of the sink at it.
That's well bowled. Now, did that carry? I don't think it did. Four. Not the most convincing, but 4.
No, England have found something here, there's no doubt. They're working in an area on Kallis where they think he might not be at his best. Get it short of the length, get him back and get him to play away from his body. They think that he's good coming forward. It can't be a coincidence that they haven't pitched the ball up more at him, particularly Gough. And he is playing away from his body a bit. When proceedings finished for the day, 64 for 1 was the score. That is a lead of 58 runs for England. But of course the key thing is South Africa have 9 wickets in hand. 13 to Gary Kirsten, 28 unbeaten to Herschel Gibbs, and 6 unbeaten to Jacques Kallis. If we have a look at the England bowling figures, we'll see 1 for 10 from Alan Mullally. Tidiness all round, but maybe not quite the threat that was posed by Alan Donald and Sean Pollock this morning. They really did bowl outstandingly well. After play, I had a chat to Alan Donald, but first, the scene yesterday of one of the most dramatic starts to a test match in memory. Within 20 minutes of play beginning, England were in tatters. Alan Donald was the chief destroyer, and Sean Pollock his most able sidekick. Yes, good evening to you and welcome to the highlights of the second day's play from the Wanderers. Quite a day yesterday. I don't think anybody that was here could ever forget the way things got going in the morning. A reminder of the cards overnight. England all out 122 with Michael Vaughan and Andrew Flintoff, the young players there, impressing. But Pollock and Donald were completely irresistible. 64 for 1 in reply, the South Africans. The men not out overnight, Jacques Kallis and Herschel Gibbs. The position with the pitch was, it did seem drier. There was still plenty of grass on it, though, that would encourage the seamers. It was conditions overhead that was so different. The sun was out, and in the main in Johannesburg, that tends to help the batsmen. We'll pick up play now with Darren Gough bowling to Herschel Gibbs.
This is well up, and it's going to go for 4. Not quite where he wanted it to go. It went between the squarish gully and the 4th slip. two noises, I think, there. They go for the LBW appeal, but I think there might have been a little bit of bat there. There seemed to be two noises.
Yes, quite loud noises as well. Superb delivery, one coming back into him, and he didn't pick the right line particularly well. But there, the ball hitting pad first, both pads, and not the bat pad. But umpire Dave Orchard calling it right. It was going down leg side.
That was a beautiful bit of bowling again from Goff.
Here he pitches it up quite beautifully and allows the ball to swing, and Jacques Kallis never quite in the right line.
It's a similar delivery. Didn't play that one particularly well.
Now, once again, the ball angling into the right-hander. Now, quite often bowlers do this. They make or try and make the batsman feel that they've lost the outswinger, and once again, that one coming into the right-hander.
That might be out unless he's hit it. Well, I can only assume from what I saw live, i.e. what Venkat saw, except he's got a better view, he's down on the ground, there was a little inside edge.
Could be. My initial reaction was that, did it do enough? Did it come back enough? And perhaps not.
Down the leg side, big appeal, and out. Well, the batsman's not happy. You can tell by his body language. He might be, just that it's such a horrible way to get out.
Yes, one of the most difficult decisions to make for an umpire, a leg side catch. And the bowler was confident, the keeper made a confident appeal, which might have swayed the umpire. Very difficult to see from that, and that just shows you how difficult it is for the umpire. But as you say, Jacques Kallis will be disappointed having got out down the leg side.
And he gets an absolute beauty first up.
Yes, and he must be thinking, what have I let myself in for today? But one of Daryl Cullinan's best innings was against England at the Oval, on a similar wicket, maybe not as much grass.
That's a big appeal and not bad either. Cullinan, of course, last time out for South Africa was out first ball against Zimbabwe. And this is a really good shout from Darren Goff. Does the ball straighten? It does a little bit. Hit him on the way forward. Good shout, that. Excellent decision, too high. Got that away. He'll get 2 for that. In fact, his first runs since 10:15. So he'll be a happy chappy. 81 for 2. Oh, that's just magnificent bowling. He'll feel really hard done by. That's what I say. You can bowl crackerjacks like that and not get a wicket, which really do deserve a wicket. So what's wrong with getting a bit of a strangle down the leg side? Perfect delivery. Well, the catch it cry was there because there was a little inside edge, I think. It'll be confirmed by umpire Dave Orchard. Yeah, no leg by signal, so 2 more to Gibbs.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled. And he really is creating difficulty from the caller drive end, Caddick. A nice smile from Gibbs.
That really is the best of Caddick.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled, and it's going to go away to the boundary, I think, for 4, just ahead of the chasing Flintoff. And Caddick shakes his head. Oh, that's well bowled, the appeal. He brushed the pad. Well,
there's a beautiful length from Caddick. Ball does indeed brush the pad. In fact, Gibbs is late on it.
that's a straight drive. And a chase for Hussain.
Exactly the right stroke to be playing. Didn't try to hit it too hard. Just made sure that it had a little sort of punch-like effect. Didn't, in other words, try to smack it to the boundary, just made sure of good contact.
Oh, he's kept that down beautifully. And it'll go to the third man boundary for 4.
Nicely played. Didn't get on top of the ball. Stand up high, and I don't think he meant to get it quite that fine. It probably hurried onto him.
Officially, but he'll get it away because there's no one there. It'll go to the long on boundary for 4. Wide-ish long on. And this has been a really good over for South Africa. They go to 100, 103 for 2.
He got hold of that beautifully. It was very short. It bounced up pretty high, but he got a lot of bat on it and hooked it backward a square for 4.
It's one of Daryl Cullinan's favourite shots, the hook shot, and he plays it as well as anybody.
Oh, there is a shot that is on. It's up to him, and he drives it through the covers handsomely. In fact, the shot of the innings, I think, and it takes him to his 3rd Test victory.
Yes, he's played a few cover drives using the wrists very well early in the innings, but this one he gets his foot out to the pitch and it's a full swing of the arms, and as you say, probably the shot of his innings.
Well, that's well up to the man, and he hits it through the covers again. Lovely shot from Herschel Gibbs. Ends the over at 117 for 2.
That was in the air. Back past the bowler. Didn't find the middle of the bat. But it'll get Cullinan 2. That's in the air and over his head for 4. Just made the most of a little bit of width.
Well, we can see the intent here of Herschel Gibbs. He's really looking to score off anything slightly loose that is bowled by Flintoff or Hamilton. And this one, as Robin has described, gave the width. He didn't hit it particularly well in the middle of the bat, got the toe end, but just sufficiently to get over the man at point.
There's 4 more. So Gibbs making hay now.
Yeah, not really bothering to try to keep the ball down. The 50 partnership between the two comes with this stroke. Just a flick, a nonchalant type of flick off the toes, and away it goes in the air to the vacant area behind square leg.
In 117 deliveries, Cullinan's contribution 18, Gibbs is 32. That's beautifully timed. My goodness me, that's beautifully timed.
Well, Daryl Cullinan has certainly been the junior partner, as we saw in the stats of the 50 partnership. Now he's starting to make merry himself, but this balance is so good. Knew where the fielders were and just angled it away into the gap.
It's got past mid-off. Whether it'll go the whole way is debatable. Dragged back in. Good fielding. But 3 more.
Yes, once again, he didn't give it the full flow of the blade. He just put his foot down the wicket and pushed it past the bowler. Once you have there, just a push into the gap. The placement was the important thing there. But certainly some good fielding and a flick back well before his feet hit the rope.
This time past mid-on. And that will go for 4.
This shot was absolutely classic. You can see the intent of the two batsmen now. They're much more confident with the pitch. They're much more confident that the ball is getting softer. But watch how he holds the bat here. There, just holds it in line to keep the blade facing the ball as long as possible. And the timing, once again, perfect.
Beautiful stroke. Oh, there's more runs here, at least 2. And they'll make it 3. Good running from Gibbs and Cullinan. In the end of the over, 144 for 2. Outside edge this time. You'll get 2 down to Caddick at third man. Frustrating for the bowler. Just been hit for a couple of 4s. Now he's found the edge and no reward. 148 for 2. Michael Vaughan, right arm off spin. Pulled away for 4. Welcome to Test cricket.
Well, it's no wonder it's so easy to drag the ball down with the tension of the moment, and particularly when you know there's somebody as dominant as Daryl Cullinan facing that first delivery. But it did take some turn.
Flintoff. Gibbs has found the gap. It's being escorted by long off. He's going to have to keep going. And he does. Just 2 more.
Yes, rather a conservative approach by Alan Mullally. He didn't try and cut it off. He just ran alongside it. But superb placement here by a batsman who's gaining in confidence all of the way. Look how Mullally runs next to it instead of angling across and trying to cut it off. Nice slide.
155 for 2 at lunch. Herschel Gibbs found it hard work first thing. He's unbeaten with 78, having played some pretty good strokes towards the lunch break. Daryl Cullinan oozing class, not out 30, and Jacques Kallis, the one man to have gone. Gough got him. Gough bowled well enough to have picked up 3 or 4 wickets during that morning session. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll see the afternoon session of play. Again from the Wanderers. England already in arrears at lunch, 33 behind. The South Africans have 8 wickets in hand. They're 155 for 2. We're going to pick up play now with Alan Mullally bowling to Herschel Gibbs.
That's 4 more. And it ends the over.
Not that wide, and Herschel Gibbs really just hits through with the shot and hits it well enough. It's in the air, but it's safe.
Well, he's gone for it, and he's brought it off. Swings it away to mid-wicket for 4.
Well, Cullinan never has had much problems facing the off-spinner. Shane Warner's troubled him in the past, but the off-spinner, he's always been able to use his wrist and place the ball.
That's a lovely cover drive, glorious shot. Well, Cullinan is enjoying the off-spinner, and he's taking rich pickings. End of the over, 2 lovely boundaries in it, 175 for 2. Wonderful shot. Oh, he's bowled him. Well, that came out of the blue. He's bowled him. Well, he just played forward and somehow it got through, and Herschel Gibbs is on his way.
Yes, perhaps just a little bit late on the shot, late in coming forward, but it finds the gap between bat and pad, and reward for Mullally, who's bowled a solid line throughout the day. Difficult to see whether there was much seam movement in that. But a fantastic innings from Herschel Gibbs.
Oh, that was a beauty. That was a really testing delivery for a batsman that has just come to the wicket.
Yes, you can just count yourself lucky that you're still there. Just shows how difficult it is to get out. Swings in, pitches round about leg stump, and then just goes away off the seam.
Hamilton. And he's lashed away backward a square on the offside for 4 runs. That's what Cullinan was looking to do in the last over, and one bounced a bit big on him and he missed another, but there was no doubt about this one.
Well, he doesn't want to be dominated by a bowler like Hamilton, so determined to assert his ascendancy.
Straight, didn't really time it as well as he might have liked, made a sort of clunking sound, and as a result of it he doesn't get his boundary. And they do get 3.
Well, Hansie Cronje turned looking for the 4th. And that was
played.
really
Lovely, lovely shot. And he's only going to get a 1 for it. It's enough, though, to give him his 50. His 16th for South Africa to go with his 8 centuries. Another fine innings by Daryl Cullinan. 8 fours from 103 balls. Just 2¼ hours at the wicket.
Good one. Probably inside edge. Shouts of catch it sometimes indicate that. Certainly a rub of the inner thigh from Hansie.
Yeah, he's hitting the seam nicely, Mullally, now, and very well done because of the old ball, and it's moving a little bit. Hansie Cronje, who doesn't move his feet all that well earlier in his innings, you see he tends to pre-move and then just stand and use his height. That one getting a thick inside edge.
Wonderful stroke. Jeepers, that's special. Didn't feel it was all that short.
It really wasn't, was it? It was a ball that was on a reasonable line and length. If we watch it again here, slightly short, but not that bad. And Daryl Cullinan didn't use his feet to get back, just leaned back and then pulled it over mid-wicket. Imperious. Well, it's Hansie Cronje's turn. He's getting off the mark just as any batsman would love to do. Half volley, nicely placed for him. He loves that stroke, and he capitalizes.
It's a cracker. A cracker.
Well, was that wicket to wicket or not? It really was terrific. It came back off the seam as well. Beat the inside edge of Hansie Cronje's bat. You can see the footwork. He's not covering his stumps with those feet.
Good shout. Might have got outside the line of off stump.
On his knees, Hamilton. I don't blame him. He's really had a tough time with the ball. He's unhappy. Perhaps the Scottish national anthem will be bowled if he does get a wicket, or be sung if he does get a wicket. The ball came back beautifully, didn't it?
Back into the attack with a new ball and drilled through extra cover. It made a nice crack. It sort of told us that it was brand new, that ball, didn't it?
Yes, it certainly sounded harder. Hit low on the bat again. Daryl Cullinan not quite middling it as he would have liked, but it was certainly good enough. Low, as you can see from that shot on the bat, low towards the outside edge, but the new ball racing away.
That'll race away, no stopping that.
Leg by signalled by Venkat.
Nicely played by Cronje. In fact, it's so nicely played that there's no chance of stopping it. Beautiful straight drive. It's a very good stroke from Cronje. He leant on it. He was nicely balanced.
Oh, that's well bowled. And Cronje's feet were nowhere.
Stifled appeal from behind the stumps. I think there might have been just a little bit of bat involved here. There, tiny little inside edge. It's missing leg stump anyway. You can see all the stumps.
Oh, well, again, Cronje caught in the crease, and Caddick no doubt engaging him. Cronje will not respond, I suggest.
That could have gone anywhere. That's what the bowler's saying. Why couldn't have that gone about 3 yards further on the onside? Why did it have to come back down the wicket? And as it did, why couldn't it come further back down the wicket?
Deep backward square is not needed because that's to the cover boundary for 4. Carried a long way.
Oh, that was a beauty. And beat him all ends up. And he's got a little bit to say to the captain.
Yes, and this is a brilliant delivery. Pitching around about off stump, straightening and going almost over the top of off stump.
Oh, he goes through him again and over the top of the stumps. Good over there from Caddick. 225 for 3.
Brilliant over this from Caddick. Beat Cronje past the outside edge and then between the body and the bat.
That's beautifully timed, and it just runs away to the boundary, square on the onside. Deal for LBW here. This might be quite close. Umpire Dave Orchard says no. Caddick's disappointment continues. Yeah, I think he did get a little touch there. Very healthy lead building here for South Africa, especially with wickets in hand in the first innings. Straight down the ground. Lovely shot, 4 runs. And then Gibbs and Cullis, and now this one flourishes with shots like that. That was an imperious shot from Daryl Cullinan.
Yes, too wide and short from Flintoff and Lucena, I presume.
And he's hit this high and handsome at 6. Oh no, it's 4. It's 4. I thought that was up in the stands. The man down there at backward square leg was looking up into the heavens.
Yes, the man at backward square leg completely lost sight of this one. Didn't move. But even if he had seen it, he wouldn't have been able to do much about it.
Yeah, they're going very well at tea, the South Africans. 249 for 3. Herschel Gibbs, the one man to have gone for 85. A nice innings from him. Daryl Cullinan, 94. He's played quite beautifully out there. He is a joy to watch, and 17 unbeaten at the moment for Hansie Cronje. 2 wickets for Alan Mullally. 1 for Darren Gough, who, by the way, at the moment is off the field injured. No wicket for Andrew Caddick. He's had no luck to speak of at all. Right, now let's get back into the action and see what happened in the final session of play here in Johannesburg.
This is well up to Cullinan and straight down the ground. 4 runs. Well, he's just picking up from where he left off 20 minutes ago. Nice, gentle half volley from Flintoff and straight back past him for 4. Well, he might get it here. In fact, he will. He's picked that one up beautifully off his toes. The fielder's racing round, will cut it off. But Cullinan will get through for 3 and post his 9th Test 100. Well played.
Only 159 balls, 229 minutes. It's 16 fours in that 100, and it certainly was one of the better ones that he will play.
And Hansie Cronje suddenly produces a magnificent shot. Straight down the ground it goes, and it's 4 runs. And that was beautifully timed. He didn't try and hit it too hard. He just stroked it back past Mullally for 4. I don't know that that carried. I don't think it quite carried to first slip. Seems to have hurt that finger of his, the bottom of the finger, and this is why. Now the super slow-mo, what will that tell us? This might solve our mystery. Dying, the ball dying, dying, trying to get those fingers underneath it. Well, it bounced. It was almost in his hands when it actually bounced. This is now between slip and gully. running down towards the vacant third man and winning the race. Off the back foot. Magnificent shot through the covers. Oh, well now. Once the captain starts to play like this.
Hoo-hoo.
Oh, he's got hold of this.
Andrew,
that's a big one, I think.
Andrew Caddick's loosener, and he's not happy with the treatment. But it was signalled as a 4, and certainly it was very close.
It's bowled. Well, can you believe it? After just almost having hit him for 6, in fact, some in the crowd thought he had hit him for 6. And suddenly, after bowling a very short one, which Cullinan helped himself to, he pitches it right up, and I think he yorked him. Good bowling, Andy Caddick.
108 as he signals to the applauding crowd as he leaves in only 170 balls. A great knock, Daryl Cullinan. South Africa 284 for 4.
And Rhodes is off the mark. Chase for Hamilton and Flintoff. Both give it up. 4 runs. Oh, sweetly hit. Well, it's a cruel game. Cronje will take full advantage of a slightly over-pitched delivery, but the momentum was going forward, and takes him to 44. Bowled him. He's chopped it on, and Cronje goes. Darren Gough gets the breakthrough, and South Africa 299 now 5.
A little bit of an if is sure, nothing shot from Hansie Cronje. Perhaps trying to play it a little bit too square, maybe down to third man. But only succeeding in dragging it onto his stumps. Disappointed, 46 to Cronje, just 4 short of that half century. And South Africa 299 for 5.
Oh, he's gone straight through him there with a beauty. Well, there isn't much more you can do except smile. Well, already we've had 3 balls in a drama. The bouncer, the Yorker, and then another peach pip.
Yes, that's pitched on middle stump and just gone off the seam.
Caddick to Klusener. Through the covers. When he lays that great big piece of wood on it, it goes racing off to the fence. He goes again, this time a little squarer, but the same result.
Poor bowling from Andrew Caddick.
Gough to Klusener, and Klusener's onto it. They're slightly short, and he's so quick to wield that willow. Well, if he stays any period of time, we're in for some fun.
He is thrilling to watch. He really is.
Smashes it down the ground for 4.
Let's stand and deliver stuff. It's a great eye at work.
Big appeal. I thought I heard a couple of noises. I'm not sure. The bat's been raised by Rhodes as if to say, yes, I did get a little inside edge. Let's see if we're right.
This was another delivery that hit the seam, and then a very distinctly inside edge of the bat first onto the pad. So a bit of desperation here from Hamilton.
There, that was there to be hit and was hit. It's what Klusener was waiting for, and he didn't miss out.
Well, this really was a classy stroke because it wasn't a bad ball.
And again, beautiful stroke, just over pitching Hamilton. 4. Clubbed away, 4 more to Klusener.
We're just talking about one needs a bit of patience to see one through a little bit of a tight spell. Lance Klusener has certainly done that. Look here, making room for that. It wasn't a terrible ball by any means. But once again, the power of the man is awesome.
Oh, he's dropped him. Well, that was quite unforgivable, really. That was an easy catch.
Yes, it didn't go that quickly to him in the gully. Lance Klusener not getting on top of this one. But just judging by his reaction, head-eye, and looks as if it's gone right through those hands, almost as if he lost sight of it as it was coming to him. Either he didn't pick it up soon enough or lost sight of it as it was on its way to him. And that's quite possible, especially in this light now. It's quite an awkward light.
That'll be it. He does it in style too. He smashes that one away. Border square on the offside for his third Test 50. And it goes with that 102 not out he made against India in Cape Town.
Well, this is in style, and he's scored the quickest of the South Africans so far in this match. So dangerous coming in at number 7.
Appeal for LBW. This might not be bad, and it's out, in fact. Umpire Orchard had a little think about that one before the finger went up, but Jonty Rhodes has been trapped by Alan Mullally, LBW.
Well, this is good bowling from Mullally for twice. He bowls the one that goes across the right hand and has Jonty Rhodes fishing outside that off stump. Jonty Rhodes goes maybe perhaps a little bit too far across to cover the dangerous one, and is trapped in front, hitting him just about on middle and leg and around about the roll.
But Jonty Rhodes has gone for 26, and it's 378 for 6. Klusener doesn't mind, he just smashes the next one away. And Caddick backward a square for 4.
That is a marvellous batting performance from the South Africans to reach the close, 386 for 6. They still have 4 wickets in hand, and they still have Lance Klusener going strong, unbeaten with 61. What a player he is to come in at number 7, let alone Shaun Pollock, who's just got to the crease at number 8. Cronje scratched away, and it was really Herschel Gibbs and Daryl Cullinan who stole the show. Cullinan was quite outstanding today. The England bowlers, Alan Mullally very persevering without always being as penetrating as he might have been. 31 overs, 3 for 72. Hard graft for him. Darren Gough came back onto the field straight after tea, so the injury wasn't a great problem. 26 overs, 2 for 63, and Andrew Caddick there, 1 for 81. A long, hard toil. Nothing seemed. First Test match here in Johannesburg dawned cloudy and humid, but with the promise of play. South African spectators arrived enthusiastic to see their team go for the kill after their dominating cricket of the first 2 days. The relatively few English supporters feared the worst, and the threat loomed again, of course, of Alan Donald and of Shaun Pollock. The crowds here have been surprisingly small given the more than fair ticket prices, either side of a £5 for adults and just £1.20 for children. After Donald on the first day and Daryl Cullinan on the second, could an Englishman emerge as a hero on the third? Yes, and don't England need a hero in the plight that they find themselves here at the Wanderers? Hello to you, and a warm welcome to the highlights of the third day's play. Let's have a reminder of how things stood overnight. England all out for 122. In reply, South Africa 386 for 6. And look at that, Lance Klusener is going strong. He's unbeaten with 61. A very fine 100 from Daryl Cullinan, and good support from Herschel Gibbs. That was an important innings at the top of the list. Now then, the pitch on this third morning was greener than we'd seen it at any stage in the match. Those overnight storms had clearly freshened things up, but the grass didn't seem to have been cut very low. And with the overhead conditions being so muggy, it really did look as if it would be very difficult for the batsmen. We're going to pick up play now with the Darren Gough steaming in to Lance Klusener, and it's the very first ball of the day.
Klusener gets it away on the onside straight away and comes back for a second. That's good running. Oh, that's an extraordinary shot. Anyway, considering it's second ball of the morning, makes it even more extraordinary.
just leans into it, slightly forward, and then leans into that shot, and the power from a short arm jab racing away, and that's his 10th boundary.
That's straight. Just how much bat on it he's got, I'm not sure. No, it's good. Is it going to go for 4? It's a real tester. Yes, it is.
That's the slowest area of the field as well. That's the area that when it gets damp doesn't get the morning sun. Not that there has been much this morning, but he's an amazing player, this. You really look at it, it's a push. That's all it is. It's a forward defensive push.
Bowled him out. Emphatically, a little bit of in-swing, and what a sight that is for a quick bowler when the middle stump flies out of the ground.
Well, Darren Gough has a wonderful change of pace to his armoury, and this certainly was one which was a lot quicker. It was also very full. It wasn't a Yorker. It just came in between bat and pad. Lance Klusener doesn't traditionally move his feet much, didn't there, and paid the price. 72 he got, 398 for 7 the score. Edge, not carrying. So a shaky-ish start for Mark Boucher. Fine bowling. This is what you want to see from a test bowler. New batsman in, don't give him any respite. Look at that, just on the outside, edge.
Oh, well bowled. Beautifully bowled. 399 for 7. Standing over from Darren Gough. This was the last ball, and that is in the right place and the right length.
Look at that. Look at that ball move. Well, I'm sure Mark Boucher is going to find this a different proposition from that he's faced in the last 2 tests against Zimbabwe. Not only from the pitch, because look at this type of bowling.
There he goes, he's got it in the end, and he deserves it. He's just bowled exactly the right channel. He's had a little bit of help from the pitch. He swung the ball in the air, and he takes his 2nd wicket of the morning, and justifiably so.
Robbins summarised it absolutely perfectly. Look at that. He had to play it. It was on off stump. Just moved sufficiently. Less movement than before, but quicker. And Stewart takes an excellent rolling catch. South Africa lose their 8th wicket as Shaun Pollock goes for 2.
Oh, but he's not going to make one this time. First ball, middle stump gone. Lovely bowling from Darren Gough. And Alan Donald gets a first baller.
Yes, if he misses, I'm going to hit probably the thoughts of Darren Gough there. Alan Donald didn't look quite as if he had the stomach for any sort of batting today, but that's good movement through the air. Donald playing down the wrong line inside the line of the ball.
Well, the delay for specks of rain and for bad light lasted 1 hour and 10 minutes. And at that point, Hansie Cronje declared. 403 for 9 for South Africans, and a really, really fine innings that from Daryl Cullinan. Good support too from both Herschel Gibbs, and wondrous hitting from Lance Klusener down the list there. The England bowlers, Darren Gough, much the best of them. He picked up 5, could easily have picked up 6 had he been allowed to bowl to the number 11 batsman Paul Adams. Andrew Caddick and Alan Mullally strong in support, though in retrospect my suspicion is they will think they didn't bowl quite as straight as they could have done through the important 2nd day. A lead then of 281 for the South Africans. We're going to have a look now at how England do in their reply.
Quick ball, Boucher palms it down, and Cullinan very quick to retrieve. And he's gone, he's bagged him, 0-0 in the test match. 2nd ball and 1st ball. So the ground on which he was the hero a few years ago has been his undoing on this occasion.
Well, you won't get a better delivery first up than this one, and unlucky in a way to edge it to the keeper. Remember Daryl Cullinan coming to the wicket, getting a similar ball first up, and he was fortunate to miss it. But Shaun Pollock, he's the danger man. He's the one you want to avoid facing. He moves it both ways off the seam, and such a difficult proposition.
and no one can say that the technique of the man was at fault, and he walks away from this test match runless. 0 for 1. Pollock. Oh! Well, is this a different pitch?
Well, what do you say? And Pollock almost laughs as he bowls this delivery.
That's gone along the ground. Okay, what's the mindset of the batsman now, other than let's have a little giggle? Well, there are some buys against the keeper. Hardly his fault. Donald. That's off the glove and doesn't carry to Adams.
There's Butcher's also shaking his head now.
Well, there's a very aggressive shot. That was very well played indeed by Nasser Hussain, and he's got 6 for it.
Trevor was quite rightly surprised because there was no hint that he was going to show any aggression, and certainly this really wasn't a bouncer. It was just a short delivery.
Fielded in the slips, it didn't carry.
Excellent stop from Jacques Kallis. Those are really nasty ones to field. Never know exactly how they're going to bounce. Look at that. Actually missed him, and Daryl Cullinan was the backstop.
This is 4 buys. In fact, it's going to be wides. That went so high over Hussain's head and wicketkeeper Boucher that umpire Venkat has called it 4 wides.
Well, somehow that's poetic justice, because we saw one a little earlier going over Mark Boucher's head.
And this is in the air, but there's no one there, and so they can come back for the second. They have to hurry a little bit, though, when you take on Alan Donald's arm.
It may not be a full house, but it's certainly an enthusiastic one. You can see how he realizes suddenly that it's Alan Donald who's roaring around to pick it up and throw in.
Well, that's 4 runs through the covers. So Nasser Hussain looks as though he's quite happy to carry the attack to the South Africans now. 21 for 1. Oh, and that's 4 lucky runs. He threw the bat at that, and it flies over the heads of that cordon of slips. And no third man, so 4 to Butcher.
Once again, they've decided that the moment the ball is in a reasonable area up to the bat, they're going to give it the full flow. Frustration for Alan Donald, because he did earn the edge.
Nicely played by Hussain, and he might get 4 for it. There's a race here, and it's lost by the fielder.
Once again, Shaun Pollock trying to give this one the maximum time in the air, just slightly over pitches, and Nasser Hussain very quick to capitalize on that. He isn't going to see many half volleys during the course of the day.
Bowled him off stump out of the ground. Well, that's Shaun Pollock's reply to having been driven down the ground for 4. A magnificent delivery right through the England captain Nasser Hussain, and he's been bowled for 16. 31 for 2.
Well, this seemed to keep a little bit low. Yes, it did. Look at that. It didn't bounce at all. Now, that's a very difficult delivery to face. Shaun Pollock delighted, but a slight shake of the head from Nasser Hussain. He has to go, and the score is 31 for 2.
This is well played by Vaughan. I think Donald was looking for the Yorker there, but it's nicely picked up by Vaughan and played away through mid-wicket and brings him a boundary.
An extremely long run for Paul Adams. He was in there at short leg, but this is nicely timed. Look at the head is steady, nice balance. Frustration for Alan Donald because it was just slightly over-pitched.
Big appeal. Not out, says umpire Orchard. So much movement in this pitch.
Well, it's extremely good umpiring. And the reason is that it was very difficult for the umpire to be certain of two things. One, the height of the ball, which we'll get a better view of from this mid-wicket camera. It may have been a bit high. And two, it just nipped back, and Robin Jackman made the point about the lavish movement, and when the ball nips back and it's got another yard to travel, it's pretty hard to say. It'll certainly hit leg stumps. So Dave Orchard, who's had a good match, got that right as well.
End of the over, 38 for 2.
This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Pitch isn't good enough. I don't know that I necessarily blame any groundsman. I don't know enough about the history of the pitch, but we're trying to get a display of the best cricketers in the world here in front of an audience.
Oh, well, no. Yeah, you must walk back and bowl, Lance. It's no good complaining. You've got every right to beat the bat. Oh, well, they just style a stick, or they don't. I wouldn't call that even a half chance. You either catch those or you don't. Well stopped.
It's a good effort. Really good reaction effort. The ball that comes off the face of the bat is the most difficult. A, it's coming quicker, and B, invariably it's hit on a downward spiral rather than an upward, looping upward like the one off bat and pad.
That might be out. Yes, it is.
I think there was a moment's hesitation from Dave Orchard in case the ball was going down the leg side, but it kept low again. Very hard to blame the batsman. Some movement into Vaughan and precious little bounce. Here we go. There's the slant into the batsman. Would this have gone on to miss leg stump or hit middle and leg? Well, you can't blame the umpire for that. I think you've got to say that middle and leg would have been hit. The batsman is right back on the crease. It's a cracking bit of bowling from Donald. It kept a bit low. Michael Vaughan is done for in the first test. Welcome back to the Wanderers. Real problems here for England. South Africa are bowling beautifully and the pitch is spiteful. 41 for 3 when we left it. It is Alex Stewart who is the new batsman.
Oh, Snorter. And he's going to jog through, and that's hit him under the arm, I fancy. He's in pain already.
What a welcome. That is just so unpleasant to get to the pitch and to face that first ball. Look at what happens here. He's trying to get forward, and then all of a sudden, up it comes. He's nicely in line, and he's in pain immediately. Even Alan Donald is surprised by what happened there.
Oh, diving attempt by Gibbs, but that'll go to the boundary for 4. And it's in the slot for Alex Stewart. He hardly had to move his feet there.
Well, of course, everyone will know that Alex Stewart does this. He gets right back. So Alan Donald trying to keep it up to the bat, but Alex Stewart countering that by leaning into it so beautifully and hitting it through the covers.
Oh, it's stopped at short leg by Adams, who's really had a busy time there. And that's a terrific stop by Adams. No, he squeezed that away. And they take 3. Good running. Good chase from Gibbs. that's a typical Alex Stewart shot. He'll get 4 runs for it as well.
It's always good to see a batsman showing aggression like this. It's so easy to be very timid and to defend that sort of a shot, but he's back, he knows he's nicely back, balance is good, he just rolls the wrist over it beautifully.
Oh, that's hit him. There's an appeal. Well, it started behind the wicket and it didn't bounce. Butcher went very, very low.
One of the difficulties, look how short that is, so quite right, the batsman instinctively starts to duck, but the ball just doesn't get up at all, and he takes a terrible blow.
Oh, he's hit that beautifully, and he's hit it so well it's gone over the boundary for 6.
A smile from Alan Donald, because that ball flew straight towards the man at fine leg. Unfortunately, he wasn't 50 foot tall, otherwise he might have got a catch. With that top edge, it really wasn't in the middle of the bat. And look there, the man is standing staring at it, and then suddenly, oops, sorry, fetch it in about the 10th row.
Cracking shot, beautifully hit. He gets in the right position, and there's no need to run either for the batsman or the fielders.
Well, he's just really looking for the ball on the back foot, isn't he? And unfortunately, Lance Klusener is giving him too many.
This one he's got through. It's a magnificent shot off the back foot.
Yes, he's so early into position. He's got plenty of time to hit this well in front of the square. And that's a copybook back foot drive.
Oh, he dropped that. It was a return catch. Very difficult for a fast bowler to grasp these. And Donald got his hand there. Couldn't hold on. Down to fine leg. And Adams has to race around as well, because he was in off the boundary a little bit and quite a bit squarer. And he does really well to get round and restrict them to 2. And this has beaten mid off and is 4 runs.
This is a good shot from Butcher, because he's spent long periods scoreless, and yet he's able to capitalize on over-pitch delivery from Pollock. Hits it with enough power to beat the diving Gibbs.
Oh, that one beat him. Lovely bowling by Pollock. They go up for this one, and umpire Orchard says no, and I think we'll find that he might have hit his boot or something with his bat.
Yes, there were definitely 2 noises, but whether it was the edge and then the ball off the pad, I think it was the bat coming through, striking the pad, and then the ball hitting the pad that fraction of a second afterwards.
Good stroke from Butcher. Doesn't have to run, he knows it. A little bit full, fraction wide, but it was really the length of the ball that gave Butcher the opportunity to put it away for 4. It's beaten Boucher. Not only was it that misdirected down the leg side, but it also wasn't the best of bounces either. Cullinan, the man who has to chase from slip.
Well, that is a good stroke. And this is one of the problems with Paul Adams, that he can't bowl 6 in a row on the spot. 94 for 3.
Big appeal, no stroke offered.
This, as much as anything, will restore some of the confidence of Paul Adams.
Brilliant, simply brilliant. Now, remember, Rhodes is actually at cover point. Let's see where he picks it up.
Well, more behind square, backward point, but he's coming in so fast.
Well, fantastic shot. It's a superb shot, this. The ball was there to be hit, but it still has to be done. Oh, what a superb delivery. Stewart can't believe that his stumps are still standing.
Now, the thing that was tremendous about this delivery was the length. You see, we know Alex Stewart is trying to go back, and this just went straight over the off stump, didn't it?
Got that away nicely into the gap between the two men back. Good fielding. Has he saved it? Yes, he has.
And an excellent recovery from Paul Adams. There was thought of an extra run there because Gary Kirsten diving pushed it past Paul Adams, who was assisting him.
Appeal for LBW. No, says umpire Venkat. We'll have a look in a moment why. It's 107 for 3. Not too bad a shot, you see. It pitched on line. Slashed over the slips for 4. Well, we've seen quite a lot of aggression from Stewart in this innings. And that 4 brings up his 50. This is a good shot. 4 runs, beats mid-off.
Valiant effort from Adams, but he's not quick enough to get across to this full-blooded drive from Butcher.
That's over-pitched again, and this is very well played by Stewart. He got his weight up nicely and plays it through mid-wicket for 4. Back past Cornier. A nice shot. 2 people chasing it. And I don't think they'll win. No. Paul Adams gives up in the end, and that was a well-timed shot down the ground to end the over. 126 for 3. So he whips it away on the onside through mid-wicket. Nicely played. Adams is after it from his mid-on position, and in vain. Brave dive, an effort to try and stop it, but he couldn't quite get there in time. Appeal for LBW. No, says umpire Venkat.
Well, this is quite a good shout because Stewart is caught on the crease. He hasn't got far forward at all.
And now he lashes it through the covers. Magnificent shot. That will annoy the captain even more. Having had the LBW appeal turned down, now he's punished through the covers.
He's gone for it again. It's in the air, and it's going to bounce short. And again, Alex Stewart is not pulling out of any little challenge being offered by Alan Donald here. And Sean Pollock had to make a lot of ground from deep backward square. Here it is again. He's gone for it. Pollock didn't see it, and even if he did, he hadn't a price because it's gone through mid-wicket. Well, that is an indication that Stewart saw it so early, he knew it was coming, and it disappeared in front of square.
Well, the first one was a surprise to him. This one wasn't. It certainly wasn't the right height or the right line either, from Alan Donald's point of view.
And that's gone to the boundary from Stewart. Fraction too short and too wide.
From time to time we've seen Alex Stewart's balance being a little bit off, and it wasn't perfect here, leaning away a little bit, but his timing now, he's really well set.
That could be close. It is. Donald gets Butcher. He can't believe it, but Alan Donald has got the breakthrough and ends an obdurate innings from Butcher. And could that be the breakthrough to herald the final onslaught?
Well, it was a long innings indeed. This one, the question I had to ask was, did it bounce or pitch outside leg stump? I think Mark Butcher thought it did. The ball would, without doubt, have hit the stumps. But you can see he's not happy. And Alan Donald almost surprised to be given the decision. But he's got it indeed. 145 for 4. with Butcher gone for 32.
Edge gone, caught behind. Boucher takes the catch. Donald gets 2 in the over. And Adams is out for a single. And England are in desperate straits now. It's too late now for Chris Adams.
So often happens, doesn't it? New batsman at the crease. He's not used to the conditions. This one perfectly positioned by Alan Donald, just leaving him slightly off the pitch, feet nowhere, and the outside edge. Mark Boucher gets another one. England 147 for 5.
And that's gone between the men on the offside. Donald holds his head. So close to 10, but 4 to Flintoff.
Well, there he immediately starts to signal that perhaps one of those in front of the stump should be added to that cordon in the gully area, because that did fly in the air.
Oh, he's hit that in the air. Running back, Gibbs. No. And, well, we've seen some astonishing catches in the past, but that one would have taken some doing.
He's going to get 4 more, and this is over the wicketkeeper's head. In fact, it came off the helmet.
Well, it did him for pace. Perfectly simple. It banged into the pitch. And he's very late on it.
So what does he do? He crashes it to the boundary, just backward a square on the offside.
Well, he's done what I was just about. What was important is that Donald had been bowling his bouncers outside off stump because Stewart was trying to fetch them, and that's why they were going up in the air. And ideally, Stewart should have been playing the cut stroke.
He's caught by Jonty Rhodes at point. After a short one, he pitched that one up and driven straight into the hands of Jonty Rhodes.
He is a fantastic bowler. We're really seeing why he is a champion, because he's such a good thinker. He knew how pumped up Stewart was. He gave him the ball to drive, and he smacked it straight at the most sure bloke to catch it on the planet. Very fine innings from Alex Stewart. There's no disgrace in getting out. He played by the sword. He died by it. 86. He's gone for it. 166 for 6.
He's at it again, and there's another one here for him. Yes, that's number 11 in the Test match. And, well, we were talking about all the things that make him the great fast bowler, the way he thinks, but there is naked aggression there as well, and high pace. And on this occasion, that's what got him the wicket.
That's a fantastic bit of bowling. I mean, Gavin Hamilton will look when people just see that isolated as a bit of a sort of a rabbit performance for Gavin Hamilton. A pair on Test match debut, that is a desperate thing.
Oh, he could have been caught. It went very quickly off the bat, and reflex action. Adams got his hand to it but couldn't hold on to it. Oh, it's Gary Kirsten back in there under the helmet.
Donald knew his man, didn't he? He knew he wanted to get Caddick. He wanted to pound the thing into his gloves, see if he could do damage to his fingers as well. And Gary Kirsten, funny that Adams isn't in there actually. Normally a short leg is a specialist fielder.
And that will not have amused Alan Donald at all. I bet you he's getting a little stare from Donald. That was rather well done by Andy Caddick.
His batting's improved immensely. We were having a little joke earlier on about it, but he's played with great certainty during the Test series against New Zealand. He's a good hitter of the ball, actually. He times it.
He just stood up straight and delivered.
Oh, valiant effort from Adams at mid-off, but he's only palmed it for 4.
Yes, Adams has managed to get a hand on this, but it's hit with such power that it's carried to the boundary. And Flintoff, well, he hits the ball as hard as Inzamam Malak. That's more like a goalkeeper than a cricketer.
Back of the net then. Smashed away through the covers by Flintoff. And the end of the over. 182 for 7. Klusner on now from the call-it drive end to replace Sean Pollock. Beautifully struck away. That's a good cricket shot from Flintoff.
Fairly simple technique, Andy Flintoff. If it's short, he's keen to get onto that front foot and drives very powerfully, but on the back foot he's equally as powerful, and that's a good cricket shot.
Well, the bad light came and it stayed, and play was curtailed earlier than we all would have liked. 188 for 7 England. Alex Stewart, the star of the show, 86 he made, and it was good to see him back in some sort of form. 32 to Mark Butcher. He got a rotten LBW decision, and it was good to see him also find some touch. Andrew Flintoff, unbeaten with 26. There is great flair when he is attacking the ball. The South African bowlers, it's the Alan Donald, Sean Pollock show in Berg has not been a happy hunting ground for England over this long weekend. The fourth day loomed without much hope, and it was a question of saving face and looking forward to the remaining challenges of the series. Yes, good evening and welcome to the highlights of the fourth day's play here at the Wanderers. We'll be showing you those in just a moment or so, but hang on to your hats later in the programme, because we're going to remind you of the extraordinary drama here in the first half an hour or so when play got underway on the first morning. It really was as memorable a passage of play in a test match as I think I've ever seen. Now let's remind ourselves of how the cards stood overnight. The deficit's still 93 for England. They're 188 for 7 in their second innings. Andrew Caddick has done pretty well hanging on. It was flying into his body, but best of all has been Andrew Flintoff, unbeaten with 26. He played nice strokes. Alex Stewart did well for that 86, as did Mark Butcher for the 32. He got a pretty dodgy LBW decision. The wickets for South Africa, they are the property of Alan Donald and of Sean Pollock. A couple of top-class performers, and they are right at the best of their game. All right, we'll get into the action now and pick it up at the start of this fourth morning's play.
Here's Pollock then to Flintoff. And immediately we see one die outside the off stump.
Making life uncomfortable for Mark Boucher.
This has played rather well through the covers, and he's going to get 4 runs for it. Donald is furious, and immediately again he kicks at that crease area. Over pitched and forced away through the covers, nicely timed. Now this is lashed away between the gully and Jonty Rhodes and goes down to the boundary as well. So 2 4s in this over, and that will really get Donald going.
Short, not that wide outside off stump, but Caddick gets nicely back and across on top of the ball and plays it down straight into the ground very early.
Well, that's a very good ball. Again, it kept a bit low.
Seam movement. Caddick beaten.
Past the short leg. And they'll be able to get 2. Flintoff had to hurry for the second, but he was there all right. Throw was a bit high from Kirsten.
And that is the 200 for England. 200 looks so much better than 199.
Oh, over the top of slips, and 4 runs. There's a third man there, but he's too square to stop that one. That was another mean delivery from Alan Donald, and it flew off the bat and over the slip's head and down to third man for 4.
Well, this is brilliant for fast bowling from Alan Donald. Adds to his frustration by the fact that it goes for 4. But surely he won't mind this. That's good bowling. Nothing really Flintoff can do.
Oh, that's magnificent delivery.
Yes, you can't. Very difficult for the batsman. Ball angling in. Pitching round about that off stump. So you have to be committed to the shot. You have to play. And then just straightening fractionally. And that's all it's got to do. Only takes a centimetre or 2 to find the edge. Yes, the ball just stopping on Caddick a little bit and playing far too early. It was in there for quite a long time, but even Jonty Rhodes couldn't make the ground necessary to take the catch.
Oh, that's a mighty strike. That's a very, very good hit indeed there by Andy Caddick, and that's maximum.
Well, I think he's just decided that this is the length that must go. I don't think he's picked the one that comes into the right-hander. I think it's the normal stock ball of Port Adams. So he's hit against the spin. But it's the perfect length. It's in the arc. And there's no one out. Well, there was no one out. There is now.
Problem is, of course, now without the forward short leg there, a bat pad on that side, they'd get away with it. They weren't appealing for that. There was for the LBW. Take that, sir.
Well, Caddick, anything in his arc, he's shown that he's prepared to have a full go at it. And not much swing here for Klusener with the ball 74 overs old. And my mistake, this is Flintoff facing, of course, and not Caddick.
That's well bowled.
Yes, well, I'm sure Duncan Fletcher has had some words into the English batsman's ears on how to play Paul Adams. But even if you know which way the ball is going to spin, not always easy to get bat on the ball.
Sweeps, and he's going to get maybe 4 runs. Cullinan has to chase from slip. I think he'll get there and haul it in. They'll be able to run 3. But if he'd have missed that, I fancy he might have been bowled, because he didn't get his foot in the right place to protect his wickets. Brings up the 50 partnership.
He's a tall man, Caddick, and he does well to get as low as he does there. That's the secret of playing the sweep shot successfully.
Oh, this must be out. Yes, straight back to Paul Adams. Very strange dismissal indeed.
Yes, Flintoff trying to work it away on the leg side, just gets a leading edge and enough spin to take the edge of the bat and just fly back to Paul Adams, who's not going to miss these of his own bowling. See, playing against the spin, just a leading edge. Paul Adams makes a few yards to his left, and he's very pleased.
So gone for 36 from 62 balls, almost an hour and a half there. 218 for 8 now, England.
This is another look at that wicket. Flintoff will learn pretty quickly that against the wrist spinners, rather best to play with the spin.
Shouldn't underestimate the importance of bowling at the moment for Lance Klusener.
Runs for Gough, 2 of them.
Look at that. There's a great example of the pace. That's really quite quick. And it drifted in. That's a super bit of bowling. Lovely to see the spinner working the ball a bit.
Struck that down the ground beautifully. Lovely cricket stroke. 227 for 8.
Pretty good shot by Caddick, and Caddick's batting is successful because of one simple thing: he stays still. He's one of the most uncomplicated tail-end batsmen. There's no initial movement against seam or spin. He stands upright and still.
Take that. You pitch it anywhere near me and I'm going to throw everything at it.
Yeah, he's a lot better offside than leg side, Gough. He loves to give himself a little room and give it a Caribbean-style thump.
Got more follow through here than Tiger Woods. Look at this. Missed it. I think Darren Gough is better off going over extra rather than wide mid-on.
Super bowling, isn't it?
It's flown over slips. It's very frustrating for the bowler, but the right attitude from the batsman. New ball. Oh. Darren Gough knows that Donald is back into the attack. That's what I love about Darren Gough.
Cool. Be a ripper of a bruise there, weren't there, in the morning? Jeepers. Ow. Oh.
That'll be 4. Fine inside edge. Donald irritated. Gough a happy man. 248 for 8.
It's very fast. It's a fast off break. And it's much too good for Gough, much too good for anybody. And much too depressing for Donald, who badly wants to get the job done. These are sort of rather infuriating moments for the team that will clearly win the match.
Take that. The new ball goes so much quicker off the bat.
Michael Atherton would be gagging for a long half volley like that instead of the snorters that he's had. Stands up. Again, no great foot movement. It's almost as if his feet are tied together with a bit of string and he just hits through the line of the ball because he's got a nice still upright head. He's in a very good position to play that stroke. Anybody would be pleased with that.
For sure. Over the top. Not struck brilliantly, but 2 more.
You really need this as a quick bowler, don't you? You bust your gut through the whole of the game. Bowled beautifully. You arrive at the ground hoping, probably expecting to wrap things up in, I don't know, 40 minutes. And some bloke keeps panning you down the ground. Great.
Pollock then. Oh, that is a fantastic delivery, and it's not an attempt to smash the ball. It's just flown off the outside edge and disappeared over slip for 4. Look at that. All the slips can do is just watch it go by.
So frustrating for somebody like Shaun Pollock, who's done everything required of him, and it goes to the boundary. But he got reward this time. Perfect line and length. Caddick never in line, and his off stump and middle stump are severely damaged.
Well, I think if we see this again, I think it's a slower ball from Shaun Pollock. And Caddick, who's wary now, the ball before just flew off a length at quite a pace. The next one is the slower delivery. You see him roll his fingers, and Caddick plays too early. The bat has gone through, the ball only arrives after the bat has passed, and that off stump is out the ground. Caddick has gone for 48, very well played. England 260 for 9.
Alan Mullally, here's why he's at the crease.
Yes, end of a very good innings from Caddick. He stood up well to the fast men, played some nice drives, and was prepared to put up a big fight.
Shot from Pollock, but always looking a little bit on the high side.
Yes, maybe if he was playing for Natal, he might have been a bit more luck with umpire Dave Orchard. Mullally coming inside, trying to push it down around the corner. Getting too far across, trying to play across the line to a too great a degree. Got to try and play in the V.
Edge and gone. Well, that's the end of the test match. Another super delivery from Shaun Pollock, and he gets his 4th of the innings. England all out for 260, and South Africa win by an innings and 21.
Fitting in a way that Shaun Pollock gets the wicket, which ends the test match full and swinging, and a comfortable catch for Jacques Kallis, I think it was. Mullally, no feet movement, caught on the crease, playing back when he should be forward, and Jacques Kallis with those big hands takes a comfortable catch head high. Yes, this is the end of Mullally. Feet playing back, full length delivery from Pollock. Kallis perhaps picking it up a little bit late. Alan Donald gets a tremendous ovation as he leaves the field. And this has been the test match of Alan Donald, Shaun Pollock and Daryl Cullinan, with great support from the other batsmen, Gibbs in particular, and Lance Klusener.
That is a resounding performance from the South Africans. England all out for 260 to go with 122 they made in their first innings. It was a very good effort today from Andrew Flintoff and from Andrew Caddick as well. I thought he played bravely, getting behind the line and fighting hard for that England cause. The South African bowlers, well, it's the Alan Donald and Shaun Pollock story. They were quite superb. Donald suggesting to everybody that he may be still somewhere near his best rather than any hint of being over the hill, and Pollock seems to me to improve almost monthly in the international game. They shared all the wickets in the match bar the one that Paul Adams took to get rid of Andrew Flintoff. There's a reminder of the mini card of the game. Victory for South Africa by an innings and 21 runs. They go 1 up in the series. Alan Donald, unsurprisingly, was chosen as man of the match. Congratulations to him.